Hi everyone, so this video will be covering adding grades to the gradebook. So last video we were able to get logged in and get to our gradebook and set up all the settings, and now we're going to be talking about what it looks like to actually add assignments and see what the scores look like in your gradebook. So since our last video, I've added a few assignments to my gradebook here. You can see on the far right side. And you can see the scores are in, and this is also officially calculating grades based on the categories we set up and the grade calc options we selected in the earlier video. So you can see for my top student here that there are two different assignments in the gradebook for them. They have one that's in one category at the beginning, and then they have another one that's in a second category on the end here. And what you see is that for those two different categories, it breaks down the percentage for each of them in the assignment here in the category section here. So you can see this student has 100% in assignment and 100% in assessments. And so that allows them to get a total score of 100. No surprise there. They have 20 points out of 20. Now you can see right below that the next student has 100% in assignments, but they only have an 80% in assessments. And so that gave them a total of an 87% or a B+, or in this instance here, a 19 out of 20. So that's what it looks like for me to have some scores and calculate them. Now, if you're adding your first assignment, the way to do that is I go to this assignment button here that's in the top left, and I'll click Add. It'll bring up a menu for me here on the right side. And this menu will first ask for what the title of the assignment is. So I'll say, for example, I'm going to enter an assignment called Buggy Code. And it'll show when the start and end date of this assignment is, right? If it is after, if you ever get in a situation where you're entering scores for something towards the end of a grading period, you have to make sure you put it in around the right range there, or else it won't show up in the gradebook in the correct place. It abbreviates the assignment, right? This is worth checking just to make sure that things show up in your assignment, show up in your gradebook appropriately. Sequence, so this is choosing the sequence is going to show up based on where it's defaulting to things. So for one, it's showing that it's listing as default as assessment. I'm actually going to change that right now to another category, which is going to be assignment. So this is an assignment, and I'm going to choose the number of points I'd like this to have. So I'm going to go ahead and choose 25, which is the score I want. Now, the next move here you see is there's a multiplier. So a multiplier allows us to choose if we want an assignment to have for the students to see the points they got on an assignment, but you only want it to count in the gradebook at a lower or higher percentage. So for example, if you decided, hey, I want to give them a 25-point quiz, but I want it to count as 50 points, you could put a multiplier of 2, and that's how the gradebook would weight it, even though the students saw they only scored 22 out of 25 or something like that. That would be down there. The only other thing we might click would be add sections. So if you teach other classes where you have the same assignment, right? So if you teach, for example, for me, my English classes are going to have the same assignments. If I was entering for that, I would hit add, and then it would show up down here in the bottom. But actually, I'm looking at this for my elective class, which I only teach one section of that. So I'm going to hit cancel on that piece there. And it shows in this menu here. I can also hit cancel right there. It takes me back there. And I can go ahead and now hit, I've got this set up here. Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to go ahead and hit add. And it starts me over here with the piece. So let's go ahead and cancel out of this piece here. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Shows me there. I'll hit close. And the assignment I added shows up, right? You can just there. So list there, Buggy Code. It's got all the criteria I want. Sometimes you want to check this to see where it shows up. We can see the sequence where it's at here. We can see that it's in the right category. We can see the date it's being created, and we can see the point value. Now, if I want to go ahead and enter some scores in there for this, I could try some to see what would happen. So, for example, if I hit 20, I hit, 19, 17, 25, those are the scores. You'll see that starting to modify our grades here. Since I selected on the settings tab in a prior video to have the sparkle graph, you can actually see it changes the way they're scoring here based on this. So those are just some different details on using that. But that's more or less how to add more assignments to your gradebook and how to add scores to them and how it updates and should look in your gradebook. So I'll go ahead and end the video right there.